but Markus, I've known you much longer than Lucas.
Yeah.
I am also a yapper, as you well know, because I used to come and spend lunch breaks with Markus at A&S, just because lunch hour at a supplement store, and I used it as my, gas station snacks. I realize now that Sonny works there that's what it's called, the gas station customer.
There it is.
Because you come in and get a drink and a protein bar, and then they're just sitting there.
7-Eleven.
Right. Screws
That's
up all
all we
numbers,
are to you.
Screws all the numbers up. Yeah, it's just bad for sales. But anyway, same kind of thing, spent countless hours together. And it's until you get on, it's like window time. You start hearing these like crazy ass stories. Like you've had like 27 lives,
Yeah.
And it's, I don't give away my favorite story of yours, which is the Twitter story.
Oh,
because I'm telling you, that's a movie, but that's a movie.
It's fair.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
But we'll give all kinds of teasers for that one. But
that's like a whole episode. It's like a whole podcast.
A whole podcast episode, and we're missing.
That's what I say. We can bring him here.
We're missing
definitely.
Once the statute of limitations is up on that for him to get in trouble for it.
Big facts. Yeah, we'll wait till May.
Right. Yeah. Nothing illegal, by the way. But who's Markus?
I'm Markus Barnett. I grew up in Newburgh.
Yeah. Local boy.
Yeah.
The localist of local boys.
The most local. Yeah. I spent a lot of like my early childhood in like the country area though, like bouncing back and forth in Spencer County. Mm-hmm. My family grew up in Richland City. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like in between Newburgh and Rockport.
Okay.
There's not a whole lot there. There's like an elementary school and like a church and like a pizza shop. Mm-hmm. It's a just tiny community that's very, very close knit. Mm-hmm. And growing up, I think that was a big impact overall of just seeing, okay, community is important. Mm-hmm. And I think that always kind of stuck with me, which is what I think wrapped into what we were talking about earlier with just have the conversation, talk to people, mm-hmm. right? But grew up in Richland with my mom. We moved to Newburgh whenever I was little with my biological father. Mom, I think we ended up getting a house whenever I was a little bit younger, kind of just climbed the ladder with my mom. She had me really young. Mm-hmm. So I think she had me.
Your mom's not that much older than you are.
No.
Right,
She had me as she was getting out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
So being, a 18-year-old
right.
with a child,
mm-hmm.
especially in, 1992,
right.
They weren't giving out reality TV shows,
right.
And you can't have a cute enough baby and you take enough videos on TikTok and you mm-hmm. might get an endorsement.
Right, exactly.
No, you lose scholarships.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you don't get to go to school. Yeah.
So you got to get a job because we don't want your pregnant self here.
Right.
So on our dime.
Mm-hmm.
So I think her treating me with logic very early on and kind of explaining the seriousness of life mm-hmm. because she felt the reality of it early on. I think that forced me to kind of grow up a little bit faster than the people around me. So I was very eager to get out of here
mm-hmm.
because I felt closed off a vast majority of my childhood, just where it felt like there was just a lot of structure and rules in place. Not that mm-hmm. I was against that, but it just felt like nothing really fit. And I just kind of felt square peg, round hole mm-hmm. kind of situation. And the energy of the city just didn't feel like me. Not that at 18 I knew what that meant,
Right.
But you're just I just gotta get out of
a very
here.
natural feeling if you've grown up somewhere, you either love it so much that you want to stick around or you're so anxious to get out that you can't, it's it can't happen fast enough,
Yeah. And it wasn't even anything necessarily against like the people or like the area in itself. It was just, I felt like I had really learned at 18, the wise 18.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I felt like I had really learned all that I could at 18 from the stuff that I had available for me, like with local resources, without putting my family into debt for college for the money that we didn't have.
Okay.
And
typical, I mean, but also the resentful, revolting.
It's very much just the growing up having stepdads.
Yeah, sure.
And having
that all knew better what was best for you.
Yep. Having
12 different viewpoints.
Yeah. So it's a lot of looking back and being like, oh, like you just didn't really like authority and like having people tell you like no, frankly.
Right. Yeah.
But you get so tired of that, I think, over time. I just didn't see myself as like, I'm not going to sit around this city and wait to like go to college and do this thing and move on. I was like, I'm just going to enlist. My grandpa was in the military.
Wise man. Yeah.
I mean, you sure you didn't just want to like?
Let me just give it a month.
It was one of those like I felt so smart about that decision.
What year is this? Like what?
2011.
2011.
Well,
so
2010. I signed all of like my early stuff like junior year.
Oh, okay. So you're one of those guys. Yeah. You're like this. The path was laid out.
Yeah. I'm like,
I'm out.
They were happy to have you too.
Yeah. Right.
Oh yeah. But much to my wise 17 and 18-year-old self, it's to the detriment later on is. Whenever you were like, I have a whole year of, I got a job waiting for me. You guys are about to go to school.
Right, yeah. That's
I'm good.
That's going to be my next question. So,
I'm good.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys enjoy class.
Yeah. Right.
Now, I wasn't like ditching school.
Right.
I'm not trying to get, my ass kicked by my mom.
Right, yeah, sure. Yeah.
But still a stern woman, right?
Yeah.
But I just don't, suddenly like my love of history class.
Right.
Kind of dissipated because it was like, I actually don't give a shit if I get an A anymore.
I actually, as you were saying that, I was like, okay, I know where this that would be an excellent study. Like, like what, because those kids are locked in, right?
Yep.
So, and it's not like you're signing the athletic scholarship where you still got to get you still got to keep your shit together.
Yeah.
Going into it, or you lose that. If you sign with the Marine Corps as a junior, and like in June of your graduating year, like I'm graduating May, June, I'm gone.
Yep.
What kind of effort are we really expecting here?
Your ASVAB's solid.
Yep.
And it's like, and it's nothing against the recruiters or anything like that.
No. Yeah. And I don't want to sound again disparaging by anything, but it's like it would be interesting.
Yeah. Like.
Because the sentiment has got to be strong. You've got senioritis anyway.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm done. What am I working for now?
And you're listening to every single one of your friends stress out over if they got accepted to college.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, you spent how much to apply to a place you don't even know if they want you?
Right.
$40.
How many times? Like, your
application fee.
Yeah.
What?
Your mom messed up the first one. You guys had to do it twice.
Have fun taking your SAT Saturday morning.
Never took an SAT. Never took an ACT.
Yeah,
man, I took but I was in the sweet spot with the SAT because I went to college when they were like, yeah, we don't care about those scores right now.
Yeah.
And then I think that they like took that back.
Please.
Yeah.
Please give us tuition money.
No, honestly, because I'm a horrible test taker. That was what was so good about philosophy. It's like I got to write essays about things that I want to say.
Yeah, right.
So it's not too bad.
Yeah. How could it be wrong?
I mean, you can. I have seen some things where
you wait.
You're wrong. Like it's just you're wrong. Like it was always funny though. Whenever I look over at like one of my classmates and it'd be like D+ on their essay, I'm like, how D+? Like, what did you do?
Where did the plus come from? For one,
did you fail to think?
Right.
That's rough. But no, the motivation. I think that was probably looking back.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were just like, ooh, like silly, really silly, silly stuff.
Yeah.
Those are the things where I look at now where I'm like, does it matter that I never took an ACT, like an ACT or an SAT? Like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like in this, I'm 33.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
But I feel like I missed, like I have a weird FOMO of that in a sense of like, I have no idea what that test looks like.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Not good.
But I get it.
For me, it was really bad because I'm awful with like time pressure when it comes to test taking, because the way like my reading comprehension works is I have to read it multiple times for it to actually like stick in my head.
Yeah.
And they're like, 20 minutes to do all these. So I literally was like, I'm halfway through and I'm just like, all right, gas.
Yeah.
C's get degrees.
And I'm like, and then I'm just sitting there. I'm like, this just fucking sucks. So it's just like, whatever. Boo.
I can distinctly remembering like the reading part, like getting like a third of the way through it, and then just like, okay, I got the gist of this. Next to go, and just going through it. Dumb test.
I just found like I've talked to the recruiters and they're just like, you just don't really care about those. Like if you want to take them, you can. It might help if you want like a couple specific jobs or something, maybe. But we just need you to take this ASVAB and cool, practice that a couple times in like a small closet at the recruiter's office, and then went up to the Louisville MEPS and took that. Did not grasp electrical engineering like that test thinks you need to. Like that part I always found bizarre of like there's a lot of
I would have no idea what this test even consists of.
It's a lot of like math, science, critical thinking, problem solving. Like, I mean, we're handing anyone a gun.
Sure.
Please have some sort of grasp of life. But I remember just remembering taking the practice test and like kind of killing it. And then being there, sitting in this like old school, like 90s era computer lab with a bunch of other like randoms. We're all from different parts of the Midwest, and we're all just like,
right. Yeah.
I remember all of us collectively being, my gosh, no. But
so whenever you started military stuff, where did you go first? Like what kind of situation?
So Air Force there's only one boot camp. They send you to Lackland. It's in San Antonio. I got sent, my first day was July 5th. So the fireworks are like still like actively going, like the whole week of 4th of July.
Right.
Were you excited or were you scared? Like what are...
No, I was...
Did you hear any bad rumors and shit?
No, because like everybody was like, dude, you're going into the Air Force. You're going to be fine. Yeah. They're going to be like, your chair force jokes like started before I wore the uniform kind of thing.
I'm like, a good friend that was in the Air Force and the same thing.
Yeah. It's just like the grocery bagger kind of person where you're just like, I don't know you and you don't know me, but they saw me wearing an Air Force like recruiting shirt. And
really? What did you watch?
Where I'm just like, why? Like that's a weird shot to take. Okay, all right. Anyway, but there wasn't necessarily. It wasn't necessarily any sort of fear or anything outside of I'd never been on a plane.
Oh, okay.
So like,
I mean, that's a big.
That was a big jump to join the Air Force and never been on a plane. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so that was kind of just like a weird anxiety I think I had at the time. Of just like, I'd never been on a plane. And I was like, I'm about to fly to Texas and then like be in the military and be on a lot of planes actually. And it's just like never anything.
Like you're the plane army.
Well, and my family was the like,
I would think you'd probably want to figure out if you're afraid of planes or something before you go to the Air Force. I wasn't even sure how I
was with heights. Like,
well, honestly, no. Just I like that. Just go do it. You know.
My family was like the road trip family though. It's just
find out quick.
Yeah, like you don't fly places. Like if we're going to Florida, we'll drive.
Sure.
We went to Wyoming. We drove. Yeah. You know, anywhere we went to Waco, Texas. We drove. It's the plane tickets aren't worth the money kind of thing.
Yeah.
So car rides and like anything long distance, I was like, okay, solid.
Yeah.
Learned that later whenever you have to take a 15+ hour plane ride home from Korea. You learn what you can handle.
Right.
But no, I think I was just excited to start the next chapter. Everything's very like rose tinted and cinematic when you're at that age, I think too, where you're like, oh man, we're all moving on.
Yeah. Did you have like these kind of kind of romanticized ideas of what military life was going to be like?
Oh, 1000%.
Like you're going to go, I'm going to travel the world, and I'm going to do all these things, and especially something like the Air Force where you like,
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't one of those guys that was looking for like a jarhead experience where I'm like, hand me a gun, send me to the front of whatever line, and like, let's go do some stuff.
Right. I never understood that really.
Yeah, like that was never my mindset. Like, as cliche and lame as it sounds, I've always said this. I just wanted to do something that helped people and felt like it mattered. And I don't say that like every job in the military matters in some form or fashion. It's all logistics, right? Like it's all feeding something else. But I just wanted to feel like whenever I went home, I knew I impacted people directly. And maybe that comes from like a selfish place to some extent of just like, I want to know that I directly impacted people and I want to be able to validate that in myself for my own ego, frankly. But I want to be able to do that for people. And I want to volunteer my skill set and my brain to learn how to do that because I just don't know enough people. Like at this time, I'm like, I just don't know anyone my age willing to do that. And that just felt like something needed, you know? So I'm like, okay, well, I'll go be like an MP in security forces in the Air Force. So you go do all that. Went to Whiteman Air Force Base, Missouri. Got stationed there. They got the B-2 there. That's where it's a cool plane.
Big plane.
Big plane.
Yeah.
Giant black triangle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But nice. But outside of that, I mean, Missouri didn't really.
Did you see any aliens?
You see some wild stuff.
We need to have an alien episode,
right? You know, we'll definitely have an alien episode.
Whenever
really bad. I want an alien episode, like really bad, actually.
we can make that happen.
Yeah,
I haven't.
Sure.
I've only seen like little things. I've never actually seen a.
Don't get me started.
So you know,
I did see something incredibly unearth-like in Florida. I was in Marco Island with a friend. We were at a conference down there. We were leaving a restaurant and walking kind of all around town. And I stopped and I told her, look at that. And then there was like, you know, you pay attention, there's like 12 other groups of people like looking up at it. There's something triangular, something, you know, like, but asynchronous movement, you know, not something that was like flowing across the sky, you know? But anyway, for another time, you know, but
always a triangle, man.
Yeah, it's always a triangle.
Watch out for them triangles. Saucers are outdated. Triangles are the new era.
Yeah, no, I've always heard spheres, you know.
Navigationally,
the Sphere Network. We can have a whole episode on the Sphere Network.
All right. So you went from boot camp to
no. So got initially stationed at Whiteman in Missouri. Was there for a little bit. I mean, to this day, like some of my closest friends, Whiteman, like being stationed there wasn't what I wanted it to be because I was just ready for like the military experience. And I got sent to Indiana in a different font, basically. I got sent to Missouri.
Well, Missouri?
Yeah. So I was like, oh.
Just go a little to the left.
Yeah. Yeah. So there was a lot of kind of like air got sucked out of you a little bit as soon as you kind of get there and you start settling into the job and your role and stuff. So I immediately was just trying to volunteer. You have this thing, essentially it's like a dream sheet where you're just volunteering yourself for all of these assignments and some, you know, algorithm of some nature goes through and kind of filters everybody's sheets. And then we'll find the people that are volunteering for these places before they just start telling people to go to these places.
Sure.
But I ended up just putting Korea over and over and over again because everyone always told me if you need to get out of anywhere, volunteer for Korea, they'll send you. And I was like, okay, like that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know, like growing up in Newburgh, there wasn't even much like Asian restaurants. So
seems like the place to go.
Yeah. I was just like, I have no experience in that world whatsoever. And I really want to like just get out of the Midwest. That's all I wanted to do was just get out of the Midwest. And
so how long were you in Korea?
15 months, probably.
So what year is this?
2012.
Okay, so
So
only
you're
a
like
year.
fresh out,
True,
like
yeah.
you're like done with boot camp. Go to
Yeah, I got there like into probably midway through 2012, into 2012, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I was at Kunsan Air Base, which is in the town of Gunsan with a
Makes
G.
sense. Yeah.
But that was an incredible experience because for the first time in my life, I was a minority, and that is something that I don't think like you get to comprehend until you experience. And some people react very differently to that experience.
Yeah, sure.
You know,
Yeah.
There's fear, there's anger, there's closed offness, there's open mindedness. There's a lot of different places I think that can put you, especially whenever you're so far away from home too. So that's one of the Korea is like getting stationed there is like a really unique experience in that sense too, because it kind of forces you to look inward a lot because you're just there and the days are long. It's a lot of work and there's a really big time gap with everyone. So unless you're on night shift, you don't get to speak to anyone like live ever. And this was like Snapchat had just came out.
Okay.
Like that's where we are.
Okay.
Like TikTok didn't
It's so strange because
like does that not
whenever,
like that?
Yeah.
That's
because
where we are.
When we
That timeline makes no sense to me, but that's okay. Okay.
Well,
Still hit with somebody.
it's just like when we hang out, I feel like we're just like, you know, like around the same age or whatever, even though there's a little bit of a gap, but it's, but then whenever you talk about things like that, it's like, I remember I was in like, I don't know, 5th grade or something, whenever Snapchat came out, you know, it was like just whenever we're able to start doing, you know, so it's just so interesting to hear those like blocks.
I'm sending selfies with my rifle and a Humvee.
Yeah. And I can remember hearing about Snapchat. I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that. What is that?
I mean, understandably so.
Right.
I mean, really? I mean,
Now my whole family has a group chat.
Well, I
It's the
mean,
only way we all
that's the only
communicate.
way you communicate with my kids. Like you can text Sonny and it's
It's a text.
a black hole,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Yeah. It may sit there forever. But you Snapchat him and he'll answer you.
Like, oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
I still don't because I'm, I refuse to give into that. But
Because I'm a grown adult.
or I'm an adult, right? Yeah, and I'm your dad. Yeah, you
Yeah.
answer whenever I text you. But he's learned that. But I know that that's some people like. Well, I just have to Snapchat my kids, and like that's crazy to me. But anyway,
I mean, it's an easier way to like one of my friends, his mom is always sending like dog videos and stuff. I mean, it's like easier than a text message, I guess.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
So I guess it doesn't mean, and the idea is that it doesn't store on your, doesn't hang out on your phone or whatever. But
No, that's the era where, I mean, I don't think WhatsApp was, if it was a thing, it wasn't to like what its capability is now.
Right,
we were using like Text Now, I think was a thing, and everyone on base would have that, so then they could text their girlfriends and family and spouses and all that. Viber, I don't know if you remember Viber.
I've never even heard of it.
It was kind of like a walkie-talkie app.
Oh, wow.
I don't know about.
You know Viber?
No.
Yeah.
So
Viber sounds like a dating site. I don't want to be a part of.
No, so it was like this orange app, and it was just like a walkie-talkie in a sense of just like if you just wanted to keep sending voice memos back and forth, essentially.
Oh, so it's not like an actual live walkie-talkie.
It could be if you guys were both like holding the phone at the exact same time, and
And
like,
so I'm like, you mean like a telephone, right?
Exactly.
So like making a call.
you're just leaving each other.
So it works like that.
But it's not on Viber.
Oh, right. Yeah. So, yeah. Right. I get
But
it.
you're communicating via voicemail is basically, it's just like leaving each other voicemail after voicemail after voicemail
Okay.
over and over again.
Yeah.
And it worked well for all of us because like one of my best friends, Brian, who I met in Missouri,
Yeah.
he too wanted to escape Missouri. He volunteered for Turkey and got sent there very quickly.
Turkey.
So got sent to a base out there, and you find all the homies who are like on similar time zones as you very quickly.
Yeah.
because
Oh,
you're like,
yeah. Yeah.
Like who's awake that I could like reach
Right.
out to and talk to. And Facebook Messenger was kind of starting to become a thing, so you can start communicating better. But After Korea, went to Spain. Spain was wonderful.
Yeah.
I miss Spain each and every single day.
Yeah. If I hear you talking about anything like the love of your military experience, it always has to do with Spain.
Yes. Yeah. No, there's, I don't know. It's easy to romanticize Spain just because it's like it's Spain.
Spain, right.
But there was just nothing but fantastic experiences there, especially with the people, and the culture is very inviting, and not necessarily in a sense of they're just like, hooray, a local American moved near me. It's not like that,
right, yeah.
you know, but I didn't live on base. I lived in a 3-bedroom condo with a bunch of Spanish neighbors. It was me and my cat, and we just lived our lives. And I just happened to be an American living in a nearby city, and I went to a very unique job compared to like my neighbors, but we were all just kind of there.
So what was your, quote unquote job looking like at this point?
My role there at the time was I would be desk sergeant mostly at this point. The base there is so small, which I think it might be on the verge of like I think we might like leave that base relatively soon, because it's a shared operation kind of thing with Spain. But the Spanish Air Force works alongside us, so they have their own air traffic and everything they're monitoring. We're doing our stuff, and there's parts of the base that are solely for them, solely for us, that whole thing. But we manage kind of like your standard police department in a sense like that, but then also you're the HOA, and then also you're the National Guard. Being on a base is just kind of like being in a small city.
So how long were you in for?
I was in for a little over 5.
Okay.
I signed for a 4 initially, and then my Spain assignment was not like, it didn't fit how much time that I had left in my assignment. So they basically, anytime that happens, they kind of just, I don't want to say strong arm you, but they're like, listen, if you actually want this assignment, you're going to have to extend and stay with us for a little bit. So it's just like, well,
and that was never really the intent, or at what point did you decide not to progress or not to stick with it?
I think I decided probably like like before I left Missouri, I knew this wasn't a career move, unless something like wildly changed. Whenever I was in Korea, I was volunteering at the canine like handler shelter and stuff like that a lot. I was thought maybe I wanted to become a canine handler. That seemed really cool. I think it might be a lifetime certification or pretty close kind of thing. So it's like, once you're in that world,
that's it.
World's your oyster, and big dog guy, love animals, being able to interact and work in that world would be super cool. I'll be honest. Cleaning dog poop for hours every day blows. Didn't want to do that. And like, you quickly learn like, oh, like this is not part of that. I want to
say you're a canine handler in the military. It sounds like really badass, but you really just kind of, I mean, not really, but a large part of it is just,
you're doing
also
cool.
cleaning poop all day long.
There's cool. Like, you got bomb detection dogs and like all the cool shit and everything else like that. But at the same time, it's like you go to the kennels and there's like, 8 Belgians and a German and a chocolate lab, and they're taking fat dukes.
Right, sure. Yeah.
I'm not trying to deal with that every single day. Right. You just start evaluating like, okay, well, that isn't going to work out. I thought maybe I wanted to go on more of a kind of like I guess more of kind of like the detective side of things and go on like more formal, because they have like OSI and different things like that. All of that stuff really interested me, but my leadership kind of always felt self-interested, and it just kind of slowly wedged its way into my interest in staying. I'm very team oriented as a person. I want to raise the water so we can all sail better, and whenever I feel like I just sense so much self-interest that it's taking away from like the larger pool, then it's hard for me to want to keep participating.
Understand.
In that sense.
I get that.
I think that I saw a lot of that in scattered pieces of the military, but my time in Spain, saw so much of that.
Right. Yeah.
So much of that. And as I've gotten older, I get it. You were well off into your career and you get sent to basically a resort base to just basically be like, hey, make sure these guys don't kill themselves.
Right. Yeah.
And off we go.
Yep.
Cool. Well, they probably didn't expect me and 8 of my friends to get in a drunk bar fight in Barcelona.
Right. Yeah.
You know, of course, their lives getting upended.
Right.
Are, you know, it's the reflections of it back and forth as you get older. You see like some of their decisions, but it's also the why are certain things not getting done? Why are things the way they are? Kind of aspect that you see at every single job. But whenever it's in the military, it's we're all getting paid the same based off of like rank, right? So there's this in the civilian world, it's easy to kind of look at maybe someone that's like similar to your job or adjacent to your job and be like, well, that's not my job. They make more than me, or I make more than them. Screw this. A lot of people fall into that category of just kind of like that cynical set. The military has this double-edged sword of vast majority of people are like your stuff gets adjusted maybe off like your kids and different things like that, but your base pay is your base pay off your rank. So like if you're an E4, every other E4 is making about what you're making. So if you see people not carrying weight in certain senses, you're like,
yeah. I mean, it's with every
exactly,
it's with everywhere. Yeah.
So there's like a mindset that you see with a lot of the folks where people just get resentful altogether and cynical as a collective. And whenever you get a cynical collective in the military, it gets sour pretty quick.
Sure.
So I think probably like 2 years in, I knew I wasn't going to go the distance with it, but I knew that like staying in like a major government role like wasn't going to be something for me, because everybody thinks, all right, well, when you get out of the military, then you're going to like it's easy to like shoehorn into like other like government roles like TSA or like US Customs, things like that, or you know, if you have the certs, they're always looking for people and they're going to take care of you. Right. It's a government job. Right. They got the money. So you run into stuff like that where you're just like, oh, okay.
So as you transitioned out, you know, you had this beautiful experience in Spain, transition out. I know you made your way to Louisville. Yeah. You know, kind of did a couple of, you know, kind of a lateral jobs there, you know, we just some security stuff or whatever. Yeah. But, you know, again, the one thing that just kind of was said in passing was that you why you went to Louisville was to do what?
So I always shout out my friend Brian for basically teaching me as an adult that it's okay to love the things that you love. And that was a really weird thing for me to grasp, like early on, like 18, 19, 20, of just kind of like leaving small town Indiana, of just that fear of judgment, you know, of like just being a 19, 20-year-old who like, I love wrestling. I love WWE. That is so cool to me for so many different reasons. And it's so easy to make fun of it at the exact same time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like,
yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But being able to find like your people that you can talk to about it, and like it's so like exhilarating and relieving and stuff like that. So meeting my friend Brian in Missouri, he's the one that got sent to Turkey. We just stayed really, really tight. He ended up getting out of the military like a couple months before I did. The timing just kind of worked out. And he lived up in Wisconsin, Random Lake, Wisconsin, specifically. Yeah. And there is lakes.
Random Lake. Yes.
I checked.
Lots of lakes.
So
you have to find, it's hard to find names for him.
He grew up on a dairy farm, and he just kind of the same thing as me. He was just like, listen, like, I don't like hate my hometown or anything like that. He's just like, I just don't want to go back to Wisconsin and like do this whole thing. So him and I were like, well, we've both been like busting our tail, and we both had kind of been talking about it for a long time. So we moved down to Louisville to become wrestlers.
Yes.
And go to OVW and start training.
Right.
So
what was your wrestling name?
Which is like a proving ground for like every name that you've heard of in WWE comes through OVW, which is crazy for us that live 2 hours away and we're wrestling fans growing up. So,
it's just right there.
Yeah, it's literally like Al Snow's production.
Yeah. Al Snow takes care of it.
So,
But there's so many like Randy Orton, John Cena,
right?
Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin,
right? All those guys, right?
Like everybody. So many people ran through there, but I don't know. For us, it just seemed. Was it something that I think we 110% felt was achievable to like walk the stages of WrestleMania kind of thing, like make the grand entrance? I don't think so.
Right? Yeah.
But I think getting out of the military and just kind of having that chip on your shoulder of being like, I'm just going to shoot for the stars.
Sure.
And I don't have anyone telling me I can't is real. There's like, oh man, that's so fun.
Yeah.
There's something really cool about that, of just that ultimate freedom. Because for both of us, I think my friend Brian maybe went to college for like briefly for a little bit, but for the most part, like we didn't live our lives without some sort of like structure until like 20, for me, like 23, 24, whatever. So it's kind of odd whenever you think of like, well, like you should be pretty well adjusted at 24. In theory, yes. But
there's still some things I want to do.
Yeah, like
right.
There's a lot of like, I've been kind of trapped in a box for 20 plus years.
Right.
And now I got to travel the world and have some money saved up.
Right.
And I got a lot of curiosities, and now I'm back in the Midwest.
Right.
The place I just tried to escape all these years.
Yep.
So it's like, oh man, there's all this energy and just creative juices and everything just kind of piling up and stuff. So what you quickly realize is that wrestling is painful.
Yes.
Well, what was the wrestling name? I'm dying to know.
Marcus Knight.
Marcus Knight.
Yes.
Marcus Knight.
Yes. We'll
Debut at the Ohio River City Fit Expo.
We'll get shirts. We'll make merch. But I quickly
fighting Trevor Baker.
I don't know. I quickly realized that me spending like 5 to 10 years chasing something wasn't worth my long-term health. And I feel like I probably pulled the plug on it like a little earlier than I probably should have. But
how long were you in Louisville?
2.5, 3 years.
So what was the average age of the person that walks into OVW to start a wrestling, to try to
well, and not even just OVW. I mean, like the thing with Louisville and kind of like that whole pocket there is it's such a hotbed for indie wrestling over the years in general, that there's a lot of people out there that are putting together really poorly ran wrestling promotions that are like, we'll train you for $15 and a handshake, if you know what I mean, friend.
Right, yeah.
So it's trying to like weed through the BSers at the exact same time, but it's hard to weed through the carnies when it's a carny industry.
Sure. Well, I've always been curious. And again, I think that it's admirable. I admire both of you for like doing the things like, fuck, we can play the stage. Let's do it, and then working towards it and doing it, My whole thing is that and the reason why I'm so passionate about things like Offscripts and the goals that you guys bring to the table is that these are things I wanted to do when I was that age, and just didn't, out of pure fear, just pure fear and being told that you can't do that, kind of, not that I would ever trade my, parents or their advice or their life for anything, but there's something to be said about the willingness to say, I can do that. Yeah. I can do that. And I always had the fear of doing those things, and it's taken me 50 years to get to a point where it's like, no, we can do this. This can be done. And maybe it was because in 1994, 5, you couldn't just go buy this stuff and
make it happen.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Like it was those people that went to film school and that kind of thing, and then get out. Then you had to move to LA. You couldn't just stay in Henderson, Kentucky, or Evansville, Indiana, and do that stuff. At least nobody thought you could.
Yeah,
you were constantly told that you couldn't do these things.
Well, that I think was one of the biggest things that I realized leaving like small town Indiana, like in 2011 or whatever, was firstly, it's a much different place now. I would say, I think it's a lot more. There's a lot more going on, frankly, but being able to go somewhere or being able to go to a place that feels like it's presenting opportunity and not necessarily like shooing it away.
Yeah, I feel like Evansville has felt less dormant recently.
Yeah. I think there's a movement. I think there's
It's momentum.
There's a rumbling, right?
Well, yeah, and the Lloyd construction is proof of that, isn't it?
I think that it's I think that you bringing all that to where I found you at the supplement sales, right?
Yeah,
because you've got all this experience. You're comfortable around people. You want to talk to folks. Every experience I ever had with you, every person that I ever sent to you, I told people to go to A&S, but I told them go to A&S, ask for Markus.
Yeah.
Go to A&S and ask for Markus because he's not going to bullshit you into buying a bunch of stuff that you don't need. He's going to talk. He knows what he's talking about. You've built that reputation for yourself, and it's clear whenever we go out. Yeah. I'm born and raised here. You're born and raised here. That people still go to you for that, like still lean on you for that kind of even the advice, or they just everybody kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot. You've got so many contacts, and like people remember you from whatever facet of your life that you've had. It's remarkable to kind of see that kind of thing. It's cool.
Thank you.
It's because it's who's that? We're out. I'm like, who's that person? Who's that person? Oh, that's so and so. They run this thing. They used to come in the store all the time. Everything is kind of this link back to something. And they do really cool things. I'm like, oh, so and what I pick up on is that those people just weren't customers. Like these people.
Yeah.
What cause they're working in, how they're doing. And then, they had this person that used to come in all the time. And I was like, God, that's a lost art. That's a lost thing. And, it makes me want to work with people like you. And that's what I think that in our lunchtime gas station food conversations at the A&S, it was always this kind of talk about, hey, we're into this, we're into that. This is really cool. This is really cool. Hey, maybe someday, maybe we can work together and do these kinds of things.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to be here doing that.
Well, it's what you said with, I don't think predestination is necessarily like, all of it, but I do find timing just very, very interesting.
Yeah.
It's always going to be, right?
Yeah. And I just, everything is like is a Frankenstein piece of something else kind of together in a sense as well, because I've just networked with a lot of people over the years. I talked to a lot of people, and I didn't start doing like pictures or like videos or anything like in that world to make money or like ever dream of someone paying me to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Like, in that sense whatsoever. It was simply, I think I just love the idea of documentation. I wouldn't say at like a hoarding level, but like I would call myself like a preservationist in that sense of like I collect comic books and stuff like that. Like I love stuff like that, but history can only, like, certain things can only be created once, and once they're tarnished and broken, then you can fix and mend and repair, but like scars remain, right? So the being able to, damn, I lost my train of thought on that. That was a fucking bar though.
I think you're just talking about how you love cameras a lot.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
He's
just gonna roll with it. He's just riffing on it. At this point,
yeah,
right?
that actually was what it was.
That was a fucking bar. Though.
Well, I think that, I mean, I don't, we've got plenty of time to expand on this universe that we're creating. But, I think that, we've got a lot of things, a lot of really cool things I think we're working on here. I always like to give credit to the people that are making it all happen. Yeah. That's you too. And the plans for something like Offscripts is something that I don't think exists around here. I don't know that. I think everybody has this ambition, and there's a lot of really cool content creators around here. Oh yeah. But and we've met with them, we've collabed with some of them, we're doing all these things, but I think that the kind of drive and motivation that we have seems to be longstanding, or at least hope for it to be. Yeah. And so doing things like this, where we're sitting down, bringing in again the return of the Better Human podcast is something I love, and to make it as beautiful as the moments are that we create in here, that you guys do that job well. Okay, I mean that's what we want. That's always been the goal. And Dakota did too. Like Dakota did all beautiful work, and still does. But I think that going forward, expanding the universe of what we want to do and what we're capable of doing, I think is very much at hand. Yes. As opposed to, me 30 years ago being like, that sounds great. I would love to do that, but I'm never going to do that. Taking that and 30 years of kind of angst and combining it with two guys that were like, fuck, I want to be a wrestler. I'll go be a wrestler. Yeah. I think we should be on stage at Louder Than Life. We're just going to do Louder Than Life. So I think that combining those visions, our combined vision, and then adding a couple of other people in here that we can talk about it on another episode is just real. Again, is it predestination or is it chaos that's just kind of falling into place?
Well, right? I'll say, if it makes you feel any better, I'm grateful that you didn't necessarily do all of that earlier on, because now I have a situation where I can too. Yeah. So, I mean, like
it's
and the goal is, even if you're not, manning a camera or something specifically like that, it's just it's like it's still a team. Yeah. So It gives me a lot of pride is probably not the word for it, but it gives me a lot of joy to sit back here and talk with you guys. And 1 minute we're talking about making hormone videos and how we can make it cool and different and set apart from all these other things, and then we're talking about some whoever script is working out, or Turnstile. Yeah. And then who's not coming
probably not coming to a national event center. Although I saw it again a while ago. So we'll see. We'll see if it hangs on for tomorrow.
We'll see.
I'm buying tickets for all of us. So it's probably not happening. You're right, Marcus. Keep shaking your head. But, as far as, starting the day by, I get the privilege of seeing patients here at Optimize You and doing things for them that changes their lives, being able to memorialize that in video and in content that's beautifully done by two people I consider my friend, and other things going forward is, this is the dream gig. Yeah. This is the dream gig. Yeah. It's such a hang. It's so much fun.
I don't stress about coming to work.
Yeah.
That's genuinely the joy
I think,
of it.
Again, I praise my children a lot because they're wise beyond their years. But, there was a day where we were all sitting back here on a Friday afternoon, and it's like 7:00, and my son's back here. Sonny's back here with us, and we're walking out. We're getting in the truck. He's like, Dad, he goes, do you know how cool it is for it to be 7:00 on a Friday and nobody is like itching to go home?
Yeah.
And I was like, and it's not that we don't want to go home. It's not like we all like hate going home. You have a long ass drive to go home. You got family and lives and everything else. But it's not like we're 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon and we've started watching the clock at 2:30.
Yeah, standing at the door.
Yeah, like God, how much longer does this? Is crazy, you know. So, anyway, I am incredibly grateful for you two being here. I think this is going to be a shit ton of fun going forward. We have great guests lined up. If you have guest ideas, like send them our way. Like sure. I think we are. If you watch the previous episodes, you at least kind of get the theme of it. You know. We just want to.
But you know, anybody who's had a UFO experience,
right? Yes, we're starting like that,
or ghost, or
anything paranormal.
They used to do those. I know you guys don't remember these, but you know, the talk shows back whenever, when I was a teenager and everything, at the end would like solicit people. If you've ever had a Bigfoot encounter, call the Maury Povich.
I also want a Bigfoot, but I want like a legitimate one. You know, like somebody who's like.
Legitimate is the operative
you
word
can
here.
see it in his eyes, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't know about the Foots until you live with the Foots.
Have you ever seen a vampire? You know, like, or have you ever had a vampire encounter? Please call the Maury Povich show or whatever.
The mermaids out of Ohio River.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
We're
yeah.
gonna get someone with the
giant
Jersey
sea
Devil
monsters,
and
Spotsville monsters. I think the Spotsville monster. We could definitely find some people that have done that, but Spotsville's a little town between Henderson and Owensboro, kind of like Richland City.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here between here and there, there's this part that has a folklore of the Spotsville monster.
Mm.
You know, so we could probably find some.
Is
Spotsville
it like
monster
more
people.
Mothman or is it more like Chupacabra?
I couldn't tell you, man. It's probably
now we got to
that.
Google
right,
that.
Right, yeah.
Like,
but there's definitely some lore about it. But we have it printed up here. We'll have the guys cut it in. But I mean, this is what we do here. We make dope shit with cool people, and that's what we. That's what we. That's our motto. That is Offscript Studios.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome.
So look forward to lots of more content.
Yeah. Grateful to be here.
Cool. All right.
Cool.
Right on.
Double thumbs up.
Double thumbs.
All right. We'll check you guys later. Thanks.